Hello and welcome to part 4 of my look at Megaman Anniversary Collection for PS2. In this installment, I'm going to take a look at the Navi mode of Megaman 4 as part of the Megaman Anniversary Collection. Now, this is where things really start to get interesting, because Megaman 4 was Rockman 4 was the first game in the Rockman Complete Works set, which was released for the PlayStation 1 in Japan, that uses completely rearranged music for all of the tracks in the game. Megaman 1 through 3 only used it for various elements in Megaman Anniversary Collection. Here, the first one, you get it for absolutely everything. One thing that's interesting to note here is that the font that's used is a completely new typeface that wasn't present in the original game. This is not the Famicom standard font. I don't know why they changed it, but they did. This was an Atomic Planet change. This was not something that was present in the original game, or even in the Rockman Complete Works set. So, Mega Man 4's intro is kind of interesting in that it doesn't recount Mega Man 4 at all, or it just recounts, the story of Mega Man 1, telling how Mega Man came to be. And then he opened his eyes. History repeats itself, indeed. Alright, so here's Mega Man 4. The first Mega Man game I ever played was Mega Man 3, but the one I really fell in love with early on was Mega Man 4. This was my favorite Mega Man game for many years. Even when superior games like Mega Man X came out, I would still want to go back and play Mega Man 4 again. Alright, Robot Master to choose first. Let's go with, I don't know, Skullman. Mega Man 4 was released in 1991, and by 1991, most people had about moved on to the Sega Genesis, or they were, really looking forward to the upcoming Super Nintendo. As such, Mega Man 4 did not sell nearly the numbers that Mega Man 3 did. Even so, I think this is still a fantastic game, and really deserves to be played. It's also interesting to note that Mega Man 4 uses an absurdly big chip. It uses a 512 kilobyte mask ROM, which most NES games use 128, or some of them use 256, like Super Mario Bros. 3. So for Mega Man 4 to be so huge, it's was really kind of remarkable. And interestingly, Mega Man 5, which came out later, goes back to 256, and then its Mega Man 6 goes back to 512 again. But, you know, it's not in the size, it's all in, you know, the content of the games. Mega Man 4 was also the first game to have the Mega Buster charge shot, where you could fire a more powerful beam by holding down the button for a few seconds. After Mega Man 4, this became a series staple. And it was like just expected that every single Mega Man game would have that. And that's kind of why it was so glaringly obvious of an omission when Mega Man 9 and 10 came out. And, of course, Capcom wanted to go back to the Mega Man 2 days, because people seem to love Mega Man 2 so much. But it really was like an omission. Alright, Skullman defeated. My 8-year-old self loved this part. Whoa, that was just so amazing, right? Alright, the Skull Barrier, which is a pretty useless ability. Who's next? Why don't we go after... Pharaoh Man. Pharaoh Man, sure. Love the music of Pharaoh Man stage. Even though I had the Mega Man games on the original NES, one of the reasons why I wanted to pick up Mega Man Anniversary Collection when it came out, when it was announced anyway, was because I wanted to play Mega Man 4 again on like just another platform, because I love this game. And you know, Mega Man 2 and 3 aren't bad games either, and Mega Man 5 is one of my personal favorites as well. And then there would be like the ones that I, you know, like, but aren't huge fans of, such as Mega Man 1 and Mega Man 6, Mega Man 7, and Mega Man 8 again was a game I love on the Saturn. So playing that on the PlayStation was kind of interesting. I love the level design of this stage, like just filled with spikes, but you know, put on these like platform things which are timed, and then you know, are enemies but aren't enemies. They're just used as platforms. It's really cool. I mean, they shoot, but you're not going to take any damage from them unless you, you know, are really stupid and get right in their way. Alright, so... Pharaoh Man. It's a cool design, but it's a really stupid idea on Wily's part. Like, why would he make a robot that looks like a pharaoh? Like, what? Like, what? It doesn't make any sense. But, you know, it was some Japanese kid who originally came up with the concept, and then Capcom, was refining the idea into, the final design. Because, in case you didn't know, the Mega Man Classic Series Robot Masters from 2 were designed by children for children. Japan had contests where kids could submit robot ideas for their next games, and that's why you got, these games with these really imaginative robots, and for Mega Man 6, 2 of the Robot Masters were actually designed internationally outside of Japan. They were Windman and Nightman. Nightman being designed by a Canadian, and Windman, I believe, was an American. So, considering that these are all robots designed by kids, but then, given, actual designs by Capcom, really explains why it would come up like a Toad Man, or like a guy that has a light bulb on his head. Alright, so let's go after, Drill Man, Dive Man, Ring Man, Toad Man, Dust Man, Break Man. Drill Man. Drill Man's design is pretty neat though, I like that guy. Whoops. I got confused with the Skull Barrier and the Mega Buster. I'm being chased by the ladybug. Way to get through this, right here. The Pharaoh shot won't actually use any weapon energy until you fire it off. And you can just keep it here, farming these enemies. And if you do it right, you won't take any damage from any of these falling rocks, which would otherwise be a big stage hazard. Fire. Drill Man is weak to dive missile, but I don't have it, so just gonna use charge shots. The concept of Drill Man was again like reused for Megaman and Bass, which was released in 2003, originally in 1998 for the Super Famicom, with the Robot Master design of Drill Man, or of Ground Man. Ground Man basically being Drill Man, but cooler, I guess. I mean, like, how cool is the weapon that Drillman has? It's a drill that is also a bomb. Really wicked. Alright, let's be a little bit more serious here and try and take him out. I don't know what the Pharaoh Shot will do against him. Well, it does a little bit of damage. Let's use an E-Can. Skull Barrier? You suck. Defeated by Skull Barrier. Alright, well that'll about do it for today's video, so tune in tomorrow, which will be my look at Mega Man 5 in Megaman 4, Rockman 5 as part of the Mega Man Anniversary Collection's Navi mode. And again, Rockman 5 is a game that has the enhanced features from the Rockman Complete Works set. So stay tuned tomorrow for another amazing soundtrack and the very underrated Mega Man 5. Until then, see you guys next time.